This is the Hardinge HLVH that the video was requested on. Up against a bit of a time crunch here, trying to get out of town, and I've limited battery life on the camera. It's just, this is unfortunately going to be a brief video, and I will be out of town for a few days. If there are any additional questions or anything you didn't see or anything you would like to see, whatever that be, I can do this again in more detail. But I wanted to get you this before I left town. So we have test bar in here. There's a 1/10 indicator set up there, and he just ran it onto, there's 0 right there. So we're going to traverse. Okay, well, that's indicator run out right there, and then we're traversing. Overall, we're talking about 2/10 or so, a couple tenths. That's it. Very, you know, what you would expect to see. There is speed. Digital readout, 1/10. He's just trying to demonstrate the cross slide. We received the bearings for the cross slide this morning, and went to put them in. There's a small gear on a shaft. I think it makes with another gear, and I think it's keyway or something must have fell out, because now the cross slide doesn't want to move. I'm sure it's something very simple, but it just means we need to pull the cross slide, which is just time that we don't have at the moment. So again, let's just consider this a rough video, and I can have something better for you in the future. There's demonstration of the feeds. Everything works, you know, all the speeds, all the feeds. There's thread engagement, running a half nut. That's the coolant pump just kicked on there. We are running 220 volt 3-phase. And that's the real basics of the machine. Sorry we couldn't finish up with the cross slide. It's just bad timing here. Review the video, and I'll follow up. And if we need to do it again next week, that won't be a problem. Okay, today is October 18th. We're here at Hildebrand Machinery, and we're doing a video of the Hardinge HLVH Lathe, stock number 19047. This Hardinge is wired up, underpowered, ready to run. It's wired for three-phase 220 volts. And we'll do a basic walk around and then do some running condition checks and just go over the machine. Everything that comes with the machine is outlined in our spec sheet, but there's the collet racks. There is, looks like 2 chucks there, some assorted tool holders, and here's some change gears and the standard inch banjo. That is not the inch metric banjo, that is the standard inch banjo. The machine is sitting on the skid. This is how we got it. Makes it easy to move around. So this is, we just leave them on there if they come on a skid usually. There's your carriage feed box. Everything on there is legible. It's easy read, not worn off. The indicator set up there in the test bar, we'll go through that in a little bit. Just giving you some overall views of the machine here. There's the cross slide, which we just replaced 2 bearings in there. Pretty generic stuff, but the movements were a little growly, so replacing those bearings solved that fairly easily. Close up of the bed of the machine by the headstock, in good shape. There's your end quadrant. Do the readout. And then we'll just go out of, that's a transformer we're using for 220 there. It's the back side of the machine. Let's start with just turn the coolant pump on. Let's just demonstrate the coolant pump works quick. And you can hear the coolant pump running in the back. Okay. Let's just do the run out here. What we're going to do is we're going to do run out at the end of the test bar here. Then we're going to move in and do the run out at the spindle nose. Let me zoom in. We fed onto the bar, we're on 0. And there's roughly a tenth or so of run out. And we're going to feed down to the end here. Oh, hold on. Okay. Let's do that again. I didn't come back the other way. Keep going. There you go. Maybe 2 tenths, maybe 2.5 tenths. Okay. And then we're feeding back across, keeping in mind we were at 0 at the end here. And we fed on, came back on. Feeding across. Deviation across the bar is, about 2 tenths. And how long is that bar?
7 inches.
So it's a 7-inch bar. So you have 2 tenths over 7 inches. And that's the brake on. Speeding up. Now that was the spindle warning without the threading engaged. We can
Yes.
engage the threading now. And you know, when you drive through those gears, it makes a little more noise, but that's to be expected.
And the threading speed here.
Yeah, there's your slower threading speed basically. There is the half nut engaged. And we're also running the traverse feeds right there. Get a better shot here. Let me come around on the other side. Okay. Digital readout, if you mind. There you go.
You can put in it.
And that is basically all the features of the lathe. It's a good running machine. As I said before, we just replaced 2 bearings in the cross slide there. We have 3.5 thousandths of play in the.
Yes. Back up here.
No, there's 2/10. See if I can.
Back up again.
So it's 7. It's reading per side.
Yes, it shows 7 here to you read.
So you read
Here.
2/10 there. Yeah. So that's.
Yeah, it's 3.5 on the side, 7 diameter.
Yeah. Thank you. That's. Oh, let's get a shot. Crank it in towards the headstock, and let me get a shot of the. And there's the way surfaces. There's that's just staining there. The bed is smooth and nice, feels good. What you would expect our Hardinge to feel like. So. Overall in very good shape. So that concludes the video. If there are any more questions, please feel free to ask. Just another little supplemental video here for you. We're just pushing on the cross slide out at the end there. We had 4 thousandths of play in the cross slide. We'll do this again for you. There's that's a 1/10 indicator, and we're, like I said, we're in the 4 thousandths. You know, there's 3.5, probably a little over 3.5 for shooting past 0. And that's pushing and pulling on the cross slide there. So, you know, it's pushing for 4 thousandths of play. So, just so you know, okay, feel free to ask any additional questions.